Hey guys, welcome back. This is Digimon Digital Monsters Season 2, Episode 6 of my show. But this is about Episode 5. Because Episode 5 of my show was about Episode 4 of Season 2. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, before I start talking about it, I want to say, first of all, again, I want to thank you guys for your support that you gave me for my previous season of history and up to this point so far. And also, like I stated before in my previous video, I'm going to be doing a couple of other projects after I do all 5 seasons of the Digimon stuff, like history on the Soul Leader series, history on the Vampire Knight series is a minor project, and then the history on the Naruto series is a major one. I think this will be the last time I mention that. Anyway, this is History of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 2, Episode 6 of my show, but this is about Episode 5. And Episode 5 in the English dub is known as Old Reliable. And just so you guys know, this episode is over 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to make this over 20 minutes long because it's 21 minutes. But even if it's under 20 and under 21, I'll still keep it as is. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, continuing on, getting into it. Episode 5 in Season 2 is known as Old Reliable. Now, basically what happens is the Digimon Emperor, before I start talking about the thing, after this episode, we'll have 3 more episodes to go before the Digidestin find out the true identity of the Digimon Emperor as well. I just thought I'd mention that, and I'll put that in the description as well, also. And anyway, continuing on, the Gazamons are working to build this prison in the snow-covered area, and then one of them falls down, and then the Digimon Emperor. Well, first, Wormmon comes over to where the Digimon Emperor is, and he's wanting him to wear a jacket because it's kind of cold out because they're in a snowy area and stuff. And then basically what happens is, the Digimon Emperor is wanting, Wormmon to leave him alone, and then one of the Gazmon falls down, and he wants them to get back up and work, and then Gomamon intercepts the whip, and he's saying that they're tired and need rest. Maybe someone should use that whip on him, because he's a bully and stuff. And then basically what happens is the Digimon Emperor basically says, that whoever among the Gazamons can defeat Gomamon will get a special prize. The rest will get some lovely parting gifts and stuff, and whoever's up to the challenge. And then Gizamon started attacking Gomamon, and Gomamon thinks that they won't attack him. But since the Gizamons are recurring characters from Season 1, I probably won't put them in the description. However, there will be a Digimon that looks like kind of a little shrimp kind of one. I might put that in the description later when I get to that. I won't explain who that Digimon is for now, but when I get to it, I'll explain it. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, then the Gomamon thinking that the Gizamons won't attack him, but they do, and they defeat him, and then Wormmon is telling them, Digimon Emperor, that the Gizamons have defeated Gomamon and tells them what they've won, and then he retracts his whip, and then the dark rings come across their throats, and then he says their reward is they get the honor of being his slaves and stuff. Oh my god. Anyway, continuing on, like I said, after this video we'll have 3 more to do before we find out the true identity of the Digimon Emperor. I just thought I'd get that out of the way one last time, and I'll probably mention it again when I end the video. Just thought I'd get that out of the way. And then, basically what happens is the Digimon Emperor is wanting Wormmon to move it, and he wants him to make him a hot chocolate, and then Wormmon's wondering about Gomamon, and then the Digimon Emperor saying to let him freeze and stuff, and then basically what happens is Goemon basically goes over to TV to contact Joe, and then in the real world, Joe's Digivice acts up, and then there's an and then Davis in the and then Davis is and then Davis is in the school and he's wanting Cody to come with him because the digital world needs him. And then Cody says that he's got kendo practice and then that his grandfather is the teacher. And he'd be really upset if he missed the lesson and then he skips out. Now I can explain that. If you guys remember, the actual human main villain of the second season will kind of have a connection with Cody's character. I'll explain that a bit later. And there's also a sad little tragic story about Cody's father. I'll also probably explain that in the episode where his grandfather is talking about that. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, continuing on, then Kari shows up where David is, and then he gets excited because he thinks that he and Kari are going into the digital world alone, but then when it gets into the human world, into where the computer lab is, she said they just can't win, and then TK is saying that they just got a distress call from one of the Digimon in the digital world, and then they're wanting to go, but Upamon's wanting to wait till Cody gets here, and then Davis says that Cody's not coming because he's got kendo practice, and then Upamon's wondering what kendo is, and then Davis starts whacking Upamon on the head, and he's wondering why he hit him, and Davis said that he wanted to know what kendo is and stuff, and then basically what happens after that is, they hear a noise, and then Upamon must think it's Cody, and David said that it's not, and he wants everybody to hide, and then they're all running around, and then basically what happens is then TK and Kari are excited to see Joe and stuff, and then basically what happens is Joe said that, wow, even though Izzy told him about it, it's so strange seeing the Digimon in the real world and stuff. And then basically what happens is, after that, TK shows them the new Digivices, the 3 new Digivices, along with his and Kari, the new Digidestin, that are the only things that can open the portal to the digital world. And then Joe says that Izzy told him all about them, and he also told him about the jerk that's calling himself the Digimon Emperor. Now, I guess probably I can explain to you what, if you guys don't mind, I'll reference the Japanese dub for a bit, because I should have explained this back when I did the second video. The Digimon Emperor's name in the Japanese version of the anime is known as Digimon Kaiser. I just thought I'd get that small part out of the way. I probably won't put that in the description, though. I just thought I'd get that out of the way and reference the Japanese dub of it. I should have probably did that back when I did the first video with the character files, maybe, but I just wanted to, I thought it was just a minor occurrence, so I didn't want to put anything in it, but I thought I'd mention it now before I forgot it again. And anyway, continuing on, Sammy Demon sees this bag and he thinks there's candy inside, and then but then it goes back to where Cody is, and he's doing his kendo lesson with his grandfather, and then he gets distracted and stuff, and then he and his grandfather have a talk, and then Cody's saying that there are others who are depending on him to do something, and he's afraid he'll let them down if he doesn't do it. And then his grandfather said to Cody that he once told his father that people will rely on you only to the extent that you rely on yourself. try your hardest and you won't let anyone down and basically and stuff, which is kind of really emotionally kind of good and stuff. I don't want to get emotional with these kinds of things. Anyway, continuing on. Then he goes to where they are, and then Pokemon is happy to see Cody, like he's all ecstatic, and then they go into the digital world, and then and then and then when they're in the digital world, Davis says that he's cold, and he's wondering if Kari is okay and stuff. And then basically what happens is after that, um, then Cody tried to do the introduction with Joe again because they didn't get a chance to go into the digital world. They didn't get a chance he didn't get a chance to properly introduce himself to Joe before they went into the digital world and stuff. And then and then Joe uses one of these hot pad things. Now this episode kind of references. This episode is kind of funny titled. It's called Old Reliable, and that's kind of ironic considering the fact that in the first season, Joe's crest was known as the crest of reliability and stuff, which is the second of Cody's two DGA crests that he'll get. I'll explain that later. Davis, Yoli, and Cody won't get their second DGAs until the 10th section of episodes of this season. Davis won't get his until episode 11. Yoli won't get hers until episode 14, and Cody won't get his till episode 16. I just thought I'd get those episode numbers out of the way and stuff, basically. Oh my god. Now getting back into the storyline of the episode I'm talking about, Carter tries to use one of the hot pads, and then it falls, and then they notice that Gomamon's under the snow, and then basically what happens is he tells Joe that he picked a fight with the wrong guy, the Digimon Emperor, and then they go to where he is, and then the Digimon Emperor is saying to Wormmon that they're here, and then Wormmon says that he does, and then basically how they get to him is first they create this like sled and use the Digimon to pull it and stuff, and it's kind of funny. Oh my god, I just thought I'd get that out of the way, that's funny. Anyway, continuing on, they start going toward it, and then the Digimon Emperor summons the Frigimons to fight, and then Davis is wanting to charge head on at them, and then basically what happens is Joe's saying that their mission is to destroy the control spire. Well, actually, first they see the control spire overhead, and then Joe's wondering what that is, and they're saying that Tegan's saying that the control spiders are part of the Digimon Emperor's power. He hunts down the Digimon and makes them into his slaves, and the spires control the dark rings that allow him to do it and stuff. And also, like I stated, no one can Digivolve. The normal way, at least. And then, basically, they go to it, and then when they're trying to get away from the Frigimon, the sled that they built, goes, like, doesn't fully go over a cliff, but just over enough so that Cody falls in the water, and then Gomamon saves him, and then Joe and Gomamon and Armadillomon and Cody stay behind, and then Armadillomon's wondering if they should get some sleep, and then Cody's saying that he can't sleep because he feels like they should be out there helping them and stuff, and then Joe says that he thought the same thing. He knows what Cody means. He used to think it was the same thing, except that he thought it was an eater or something like that, and he said that them staying behind is for a reason, and then, oh, by the way, when they were fighting, it was a group of Frigimon they were fighting. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. And then later on, the Digimon Emperor shows up, and then he has control, first off, Joe is telling Cody that them staying behind is for a reason, and then basically what happens is after that, they encounter the Digimon Emperor and another one of his slaves, Shellmon. Now, since Digimon and Shellmon are both recurring characters from the first season, I won't put them in the description However, there will be a Digimon that shows up that looks like kind of a lobster. I'll explain who that is when it gets there. And then Joe finally realizes why they were supposed to stay behind, so that the others could have time to take down the control spire. And he needs to go on to keep Shelma distracted and that great Pokemon charm is. And then he tells the joke like, oh, why did you let me deal show my lunch? Because it was shellfish! Oh my god! Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my god! And then Joe's wondering, this is a great Pokemon charm! And then later on, Davis and the others are trying to get to where the control spire is, and then Joe then goes back to where Joe is, and he's telling Komon to try the knockout choke. Oh my god! And then basically, Cody's wondering if Armadillomon's ready, and he said that he is. And then they armor Digivolve, and then basically what happens is after that, after he armor Digivolve to Digimon, Joe is surprised by that. He thinks that the armor thing is not bad. And then Gomon gets out of the way with Digimon, and then Cody gets caught in Shelmon's attack, but Digimon protects him, and then later he rolls over and uses his Gold Rush attack to destroy the control spire. But after that, basically what happens is, another one of the Digimon Emperor's slaves shows up, and he's known as Ebidramon. Now, since that's a new Digimon, I'll put that in the description as well. And I'll also put in the description 3 episodes to go before we find out the true identity of the Digimon Emperor as well. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. And then Digimon gets thrown underground, like in the water, and then Joe is wondering if only there was some way for Gomamon to Digivolve, and they're wondering what's taking them so long with the Spire, and then they manage to destroy the Spire, and then basically what happens is, Joe said that they destroyed the Spire, and now Gomamon can Digivolve, and then the Digimon Emperor's like, what? And then Wormmon is saying that they destroyed he said that Joe said that they destroyed the control Spire, and now he can Digivolve, and then the Digimon Emperor's like, it was just a figure of speech! And then Gomamon Digivolves to a Kakumon and manages to defeat Ebidramon, and then Gomamon is basically saying, then the Digimon Emperor back in his headquarters is saying, blast, they destroyed another control fire, and that was a freshly conquered area too, and then he said that he'll just have to go to Plan B, and he's asking Wormmon what Plan B is, and then Wormmon said that Plan B is they can all try to be friends, and then the Digimon Emperor says that that's not Plan B. And then he said to not blame him because he can't spell and stuff. And then basically what happens is Joe says that Gomon's the one in charge of the area now, and then Gomon's like, great, a fertilized one, land, just what I always wanted. And then Joe said that basically at least he'll have a lot of time to focus on his knock-knock joke. Oh my god. Anyway, and then they go out of the digital world, and then Cody's finishing his introduction with Joe, and then before they go out of the digital world, Cody is finishing his introduction with Joe, and Davis is wondering why he's doing that, and then he said that his grandfather said that basically next to Prune Juice Manor, that's the best thing you can have, and then Kari's saying that Cody reminds her a lot of Joe, always honest and sticks to the rules. And then TK is saying that he reminds him a lot of Izzy, just loads of curiosity. And then Joe makes a little bit of a joke about that they part Izzy and part him. That's a scary combination. And then they go out of the digital world. And then after that, Cody's wondering if they will come and fight with him again, and he makes a joke about the Digi-Egg thing, he's gotta watch his cholesterol, and then Cody's wondering if Joe would come over to see his grandfather. He knows Joe would like his grandfather, and he bets his grandfather would like him as well, and then basically what happens is, Kari says that she'll go too, and then David tries to tag along, and then and then that she's wondering why David has to do everything she does, and then he says that him and her are partners, and then Kari's saying that he's already got a partner, and then basically that's where Digimon comes in, and he said that it's just not the same and stuff. And that's basically where the episode stops. So if you guys like this video on YouTube, just please give it the real best you guys can, and I'll see you guys next time. Keep it digital.